Hey, it's Rhiannon coming to you live from Winter Garden, Florida. I am super excited for hashtag Tip Tuesday today, and we are going to talk about what to do if you have an unsupportive spouse. So if you've ever had an unsupportive spouse, will you let me know in the comments, because I've been there, y'all. I've been there. So let me take you back a little bit and share with you some information about my journey in network marketing and my journey with an unsupportive spouse. Okay? So my very first opportunity, I started when I was 18 years old. Okay? So I didn't have a spouse then, but I had parents, and how they are. And realistically, I loved the idea of network marketing, but I was not committed to the process. You ever felt that way? You love the idea of what it can do for you, but you're not committed to the work that it takes to the outcome. Been there. Guilty. So I give up on that for a little while. I was in college, and then I kind of got back in. I said, you know what, I really want to do something. I want to make this a business. And so I got excited. I got committed. Hey, Jerry. And I decided that I wanted to do the work that it took in order to have the vision come to realization, okay? So I had become, very quickly, once I made the decision, I'd become very successful. I'd earned a car, I'd earned a title, and unfortunately, I was not making any money despite the title and the car, okay? So while that looked good on paper, I didn't have the financial means. All right. So right before I got married, now my husband and I were dating at that time. We were on track to get married, and I ended up having to file bankruptcy just a couple months before we got married. So that put a very sour taste in his mouth about the industry. And so a few years later, when I was introduced to another opportunity, I was very nervous. And I'm generally one of those ask for forgiveness, not permission type of people, because I'm just very bold. But I wanted his blessing, and he said, do whatever you want. We actually got in arguments over. He's like, do whatever you want. I don't care. And it took me 4 times of filling out that application in order to hit submit and say, okay, I'm going to do this. But once I did, I didn't have his support. So I knew I had to figure it out and make it work. And at that time, we were financially stressed. We were depressed. We were going through some things. We had a house that was literally, if you've seen the movie The Money Pit, you know what I'm talking about. That was our house. We had issues all the time. Any extra money we had went directly to fix the house. We had to put $35,000 into that house to fix it, y'all, on a shoestring budget. That was fun. Clipping coupons, price matching, doing all of those things, waiting until Friday so we could put gas in the car, robbing Peter to pay Paul all the time. So I knew, based on the vision I had, that I could make this industry work, but I had to commit to it, whether or not my husband agreed with me and whether or not he supported me. So what did I do? I got to work fast and furious, y'all. I work best when I am told I can't do something. I don't know about you guys, but that's just me. If there's anybody else out there that can relate. But I had a boss at that time. I was teaching 4th and 5th grade Montessori, and my daughter was constantly sick. She was sick every 4 to 6 weeks for 2 weeks at a time. She didn't sleep. She was up all night screaming. I was exhausted mentally, physically, financially, emotionally, all the things, okay? But I knew that this opportunity that I was on at the time could be my path to freedom. And so when my boss, that teacher, when I was teaching, said to me, you go sell that, blah, 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 just totally mocking me, I said, well, you watch this, because I am going to go sell that, and I am going to do that. And just a few months later, I was able to leave teaching to be at home with my sick daughter full time. I know the power of this industry, but it was not until I did that my husband gained support. So what I will tell you right now is, if you have a spouse that's not supportive, and this is for the ladies' ears only, men need 3 things, okay? Let's talk about them. Food, they need money, and they need sex, okay? So if you can give them 2 out of the 3 things, they'll be okay, all right? So short-term sacrifice, long-term game. Now I hope that was a giggle for you for today, but it's absolutely true. And ladies, if you're on here with me, you know what I'm talking about, okay? But in that time, I was working still. My husband was working retail at nights. We were like ships in the night passing. We didn't see each other. We were upset and tired and frustrated, and all the things, all those emotions that you carry when money is short and sleep is short. But it's important that you know that even though he didn't support me, he still watched the kids. He still cooked dinner. He still showed up as a spouse and as a parent. Okay, so it's not like he abandoned me, but he just wasn't emotionally connected to what I was doing. He wasn't invested into what I was doing. So if you can relate to that, you know what I'm talking about. But there was nights because he would be at work, I would get off of work, and every single day, without fail, I would do a power hour. I would pick up the phone, I would call people, book appointments, and my appointment times were Saturdays and Sundays. So what did I do? I worked 7 days a week because I knew if I invested that short-term hustle, then I would have a long-term gain. And that's exactly what happened. So I went from 0 to 6 months later being in the top 1% of that company because I hustled hard. And it wasn't until I hit my goal, because my goal, I had it. And this is why it's so important to write your goals out, to post them on sticky notes, to plaster them all over your house, because what you think about, you bring about. And I had a dollar amount on my bathroom mirror. It was like $4,100 or something like that. I can't remember what it was exactly now because it's been so long. But I remember laying on the couch after the kids had gone to bed, and the kids were little at this time, okay, so they were like 2 and 3, or no, 2 and like less than 1, okay, 3 and less than 1, whatever. Anyways, they were young. They were little ones. They were toddlers and a baby at the time. So what I'm trying to tell you is, when I looked at that, when I opened it up, they were in bed. I was exhausted. I opened up my preliminary commissions and I literally bust out laughing. I bust out laughing and I was like, oh my gosh, I hit my goal. And so what did I do? I screenshotted it and I sent it to my husband and I said I did it. And that's when he hopped on board. Okay? So the 2 out of the 3 things I could provide until the money came in. And when the money came in, that's when he got on board and he caught the vision for this industry, and he knew that it would change our life. And after that, I've been able to retire him from jobs. He's had the opportunity to work jobs he loves, leave jobs he hates, and have the flexibility to move across the country without any sort of plan. 3 months after we came down to Florida to visit, we have had life different because I said yes and didn't let his lack of belief and commitment to the process deter me from where I wanted to go. So I hope this brings you some sort of solace today. Or maybe you know somebody on your team that's struggling with an unsupportive spouse, please share this with them, because it's not something that's really talked about, but a lot of people go through it. So have a great rest of your week, and I look forward to seeing you next Tuesday. Bye, y'all.